What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Dude Ranch DIY. My name is Jake, and we are standing over in this area that I recently did tree work on my property. If you guys saw that video, I'll put a link, or if you didn't see that video, I'll put a link up above. But we installed this fence back over the winter, and there were these trees that were encroaching, leaning way out over the fence. So as you can see, we took down several black birch trees. I also had this big oak spar that's up there that had been dead for the longest time, ever since we bought the property, and it had big dead wood going out over the fence and stuff. The fence already got hit once in this general area. You can see it's a little kinked up in there. And we've been working on getting this area, basically cleaned up. Some of this stuff is gonna go for firewood, but a lot of it is, as you can see, just covered in poison ivy vines that were alive. You can see I cut the vines up here on these pieces. So I don't wanna be selling firewood to anyone, with poison ivy on it. And then a lot of this oak stuff is pretty well, rotted beyond being good firewood. I think the plan for today is that I'm gonna be loading up a lot of this stuff, kind of separating the good stuff versus the bad stuff. The good stuff I'll be keeping and bringing back into the wood yard. The bad stuff I'm gonna load up into the dumpster can of the International, probably with the Baumalight mini skid steer and my new Ryan's rotating log grapple. And I'm gonna bring all of that, punky or poison ivy filled stuff to my buddy who has a wood boiler, because after all, it doesn't really matter if it's punky or a little bit of rotten or a little bit of poison ivy when you're putting it in a wood boiler. So that's a great, easy way for me to dispose of it. And he loves getting, smaller chunks and stuff that he doesn't necessarily have to really split or do much cutting on. Makes his life a hell of a lot easier. So I'm gonna grab the truck and the equipment. We're gonna get going here. right, guys, that went well. I was able to fall all 3 of those black birch spars that were severely leaning towards the fence in a direction that was not the fence. They actually went exactly where I wanted them to go. You'll see that I was pushing on them pretty hard by hand. You might be wondering why I wasn't using the tractor. And that was because I didn't really want the tractor in harm's way. I'm here by myself. If I had Chris here, absolutely one of us would have been on the tractor and one of us would have been cutting. But to do that by yourself would be a little bit sketchy. I mean, I could have done it. Ideally, I would have had a rope up in it, but I didn't feel like trying to take the time to set a rope because it would have been hard because there were no branches on them. So long story short, we got them down. All right, guys, so now you're gonna notice that I switched over to the tractor with the Wicked Grapple. The mini skid steer with the Ryan's Grapple is working well, but you might have noticed that the lift on the Baumalight mini skid steer isn't all that high. So I was having trouble, you know, I had to lift it up all the way and then kind of curl back to get that grapple up and over the edge of the side of the dumpster can. If I was using like the fixed Maratach grapple, I think it would have been a little bit easier, but just because that Ryan's grapple dangles down so far, it was making it a little tough. So the tractor was just a little bit easier, and I felt like I'm just a little more comfortable on it because I've used the Wicked Grapple so much longer. It made things go a little bit faster. Now here I get into cutting my box for this big oak spar. I only had the 500i with the 25-inch bar, so I had to hit it from both sides. But as you'll see in a second, we got it done, no problem. Well, guys, we got her down safely. As you can see, she was very, very hollow on the bottom there. We had a viewing party over here by the name of Sarah. What'd you think? Dinner and a show. Dinner and a show? Yeah. Did you think it was gonna hit the fence? So, yeah, glad to have this down. It was always a huge eyesore from our patio and our bedroom windows up there, living room and stuff like that. So I'm gonna flush this down. It's obviously not good firewood at all. So hopefully my buddy will take this, since despite the fact it's very big, it should be pretty easy to split up since it's so hollow. All right, guys, we got that log cut up, I think, for the most part. Don't have any room for it in the truck today, but that's all right. It's a big log, big eyesore, and now it's almost gone. So this area is almost complete with the cleanup here, and then we can get to, you know, reclamation and you know, grind some stumps and put down some more wood chips and stuff to keep the weeds and stuff down. Now, this is just the beginning to this project. My goal is to basically do this all the way around the back fence area. So not only will I have a way to get back here with equipment, but it'll also help, you know, extend the life of the fence by keeping, you know, trees and branches and stuff from falling on it. As you can see, there's a lot of like little trees up there. There's a couple big ones, which I'd probably leave. But for the most part, I want to get down and just give space for me to at least be able to get the tractor and or excavator through. Probably the excavator, you know, because, you know, as time goes on, you never know. But having a nice big wide opening like this, you know, this is at least probably 20-25 feet wide between the fence and the closest tree. It's nice to have all that space and, you know, protection for the fence. All right, let's hope he picks it up. Well guys, I'm back from dumping the load. Sorry I did not film the dump, but my buddy and his son were out there with me. We were talking for, I don't know, about a half an hour, and had a couple beers, you know, we're just catching up and stuff. He's my diesel mechanic, so we always have stuff to talk about. He has a bunch of trucks in his yard, so it's always fun to see what new and exciting vehicles and equipment he's brought back to his yard. But that's gonna wrap this video up. We have made major progress back here. From what this used to look like, I'll try and find if I still have the footage from the video where we did the tree work, a before and after. But this looks so much better. And getting this big oak spar down is like a huge weight off my shoulder, because I would every morning, I have my coffee, you know, in the kitchen where we have big French doors. Just basically just about everywhere on the property you could see this spar from. It was that hideous and ugly. And now at least it's on the ground. I got it cut up. I'm gonna have to move it and dispose of it. My buddy said he doesn't want to take it just because it's so big and you know, pretty punky, hollow and stuff. So I'll get rid of that in another video in the future. Might have to bring the excavator up here just because the pieces are so big. But this is really looking good, and I'm excited to, in the future, you know, continue on with this project. It's a lot of birch trees that we got to take down. A lot of black birch lining this back fence area, but at least we've gotten this section tamed. So as always guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Give it a big thumbs up, click that subscribe button down below if you haven't done so already. Questions, comments, feedback, throw it down in that comment section. But for now, I'm Jake, this is Dude Ranch DIY. Thanks so much for watching, we'll see you here next time.